cannot be created. So a religiousless society, an immoral society, will not be responsible or will not feel responsible to the man-made laws. As long as they can steal and do things in hiding, they will continue to do. This sense of responsibility only comes from moral teaching, religious moral teaching. This is what happened to communism. It is wrong to say that communism failed as a system. It failed because of lack of morality. The very system was in the hands of those who were immoral, who had no moral values. So why should they not turn the system to their own personal advantages? That is what happened in Russia. That is what brought the downfall of all communist regimes everywhere. So this is a message which had to be learned, and you should go deeper into the root causes, and then let's pray and join hands in everything good which we may bring about in the society together. Right? Please, yes?
Dennis Wallersby, and I'm a practicing Catholic.
Yes.
When we talk about models, how about the models of God? When we have so much wealth in part of the world and so much degradation and poverty in other parts of the world and suffering, how can we justify that that's God's will?
We don't. We can't. When there is such cruelty perpetrated by man against man, when you permit others to suffer, who are again God's creatures like you are, and you do not share their misery, and you have no concern for others' way of life, their happiness, their suffering, then you can't call yourself a true Catholic or a true believer in any religion. Because one fundamental message which is delivered by all religions is that so those who love God, they love His creation as well. Those who serve God, they must serve also His creation. There is no dividing line between your relationship with God and your relationship with human beings. This is what I have understood from the study of various religions. That is why at the start I said that I do not invite you to just the Islamic morals, because that requires many a barrier to be removed first, psychological and doctrinal barriers. But when I invite you to morals which are universally accepted as morals, that's the easiest formula to work with at a universal level. So the point you have raised only indicates that your Christianity is deficient in as much as you permit this suffering to continue without feeling for it. And if you go deeper, then you will realize that you are in fact creating and abetting that suffering in so many ways, because your politics is not Christian. That is the main problem. Your economy is not Christian. Your social behavior is not Christian. And the same is true of Muslim countries. So where is religion? It's only in the name. When religion actually becomes a reality, then the world must change into a heaven on earth. If it does not, then it is nothing is wrong with the religion, but it's wrong with the people who claim to be religious. Right? Thank you. Abhay, could you bring me hot cup of hot water, please? No tea, nothing, just hot water. Yes?
What is Islam's view on corporal punishment, in particular the death penalty, bearing in mind that other Muslim sects decreed that the likes of Salman Rushdie should die?
Well, there are two different questions altogether. Don't mix them. I'll come to them if you want, one after the other. The corporal punishment, or whatever punishment there is, has a philosophy behind. Otherwise, to make others suffer is no goodness in itself. If punishment is related to the prevention of crime, then it's excellent. And it should not be more than necessary for the prevention of crime. This is the fundamental principle which is followed by religions as a whole. In Islam, it's very clearly shown that if somebody is killed by someone, those who suffer most are his kith and kin. And the state is an impartial observer, or an observer which does not share the suffering and misery as such. So why should state forgive a crime committed against a society or a family, which causes traumas to not only one but sometimes so many of them, with which they have to live for their lives? Then corporal punishment is not just one single issue. It is a complex issue, a many-sided issue. Murders are murders, but they belong to different categories, different styles. Some murders are the result of an emotional upheaval which the man cannot suppress. Some are calculated murders. Some murders are, just like mercy killing. And some are heinous, absolutely, more brutal than you find in the killing of beasts of other animals in the animal kingdom. So why should you treat all these crimes with one yardstick? They're different crimes, different situations. So according to Islam, capital punishment is not essential, but it cannot be ruled out either. In places it will be required, there you must give capital punishment, or crime will not be prevented. In cases where forgiveness is better and it reforms the criminal, then according to the Quran, forgiveness must always be preferred, provided it reforms the criminal, not if it strengthens the hands and intentions of the criminal. So it's a complex issue. It has to be decided on merit in every case separately. The right to forgive, the corporal punishment in Islam belongs to the kith and kin of the deceased. Please.
I was just going to ask about
That's right, yes.
because it's very important.
Yes, it is indeed. Anything else, please?
Earlier this year, a dissident from Saudi Arabia was cast out of this country due to views that he had on his own country. Now, the government removed him because they had a deal with Saudi with money.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what are your views on governments around the world that treat money more than people?
You see, have you not realized that in every modern government, the national interests are always given preference over all other considerations? And if they come to clash with their moral values, with your values with regards to mercy, kindness, etc., the other values are ignored and rejected at the cost of the national interests, which are material. So we are living in a materialistic society, and it becomes very difficult even for a very highly civilized government to ignore the material dictates. So in this, they were caught in a dilemma. The British government has built an image of the British people and the British friends, that we care for human values and we support the the temporary